or 19 copies of each, 20 including the first drawing. And so the thing that really interested me was well, the thing that I just mentioned about language, about the idea that we name objects. So what interested me was that game you just played, coming back to that game you just played, when you saw a wagon or a train, I think it's my feeling, which I haven't managed to demonstrate yet, is that once you've got something like that into your head, you've seen it, and it's really hard to flip. It's like that Necker cube thing, isn't it? That you can't flip once you've seen it coming towards you. You can't flip it round, or you can, but it's an effort. So I think it's something like that with the language thing. Once you've seen a train, it can get more and more tomato-like, but you're still seeing the train because your brain's found a train there. So I wanted to demonstrate that, and I came across, kind of by accident, I came across this idea about verbal overshadowing, which I read that in a Malcolm Gladwell book, actually. So it kind of, yeah, exactly. But then I started to look at Schooler, who's written lots on verbal overshadowing. It always seemed to be about faces, and it always seemed to be about memory. So, but it seemed related to what I'm talking about there. So we had different conditions where we presented the drawings either in sequence, in reverse sequences, like you just did them, or mixed up. And I suppose my idea was that if you see a drawing halfway through the sequence on its own, you might know what it is because we haven't already decided it's a train. Do you see what I mean? But what happened when we mixed them all up was a priming effect, because you might have actually seen another drawing in that sequence before, but they were all mixed up. And that was just an unintended priming effect, as far as I'm concerned. Does that all make sense? Because I didn't actually talk much about this experiment when I presented it to the artists. And if you do want to know more about it, it's published. And so the drawings were collected in the same way as experiment 1. And this time it was really important that the original drawing I made was a single object that you could name correctly. So it wouldn't be a view or a little landscape or something like those ones. It had to be a single object. So that's the paper. And what happened was, yeah, the thing about canonical viewpoints, apparently we did demonstrate that that's the case. So in there are papers I've written, Palmer, Roche and Chase is one of the ones that I've noted, where they've demonstrated that we recognise objects more quickly from canonical viewpoints, but apparently this effect persists through these sequences, so you recognise it further down the sequence as well. And what